So, hello everybody. I'm really excited again to bring Mort back so we can talk about the fun and amazing, the different things that have grown with the Doctor Who Worlds Apart. As you could tell from the background, oh look, they've had to update the logo. They've had to do a lot of things as the 60th approaches. So they've got a lot of fun things in store for us to learn about the game, and I can't wait to start asking questions.
Yeehaw! And rounding things out on the panel side of things, a possibly tired Mackenzie Floor. You've been streaming all freaking day already.
Oh, yeah. I literally just got done like 20 minutes ago. Scarfed some food. I'm like, I'm going back. This is round 2, I guess. I mean,
You're supposed to end your last stream like an hour ago.
No, it was like literally 20 minutes ago. And I didn't want to end because it was at like that part in the game where it's like,
Yeah.
So I'll have to go back to it. But yeah, so I know that in my chat specifically, people have been saying, when are you going to play Worlds Apart again? When are you going to play? When are you going to play? But they always are sleeping during this time. So all you VOD watchers, here you go. You get to learn all about the game. So yeah.
Woohoo! And of course, our very special guest, the one and only Morten. How you doing today?
Very good. And I'm back, baby. I've been looking forward to this so much. So thank you very much for inviting me back. I always try to invite myself back, but Christian keeps denying my invitation. So luckily he's not here tonight. So Thank you for inviting me.
You got the good people. You got the gamer.
I got the good people. Yes. Yeah. I know you'll be jealous. He will now just ping me and SMS me now. So I know it.
Christian is, however, watching from wherever he is doing whatever he's doing. So he will still harass us.
Yeah. But good to be back. And now it's a little bit after midnight here. So looking at your beautiful screen in the background, dinner is served. Here I am. So I'm the dinner tonight.
Excellent. No, we are so excited that you're back. We've been chomping at the bit going, ooh. Apparently.
Let's see after this broadcast if you're still under that kind of like.
We still love you, Morten. We will always love you.
Well, so we all here already know Mort. We love Mort. We have been playing the game since day one ish.
Mm-hmm.
He has, whenever he graces us with sometimes some gifts of packs, and they usually say Fat Viking Love on it, so we know that we're loved and we love him. But I know some of our viewers tonight might not know who the heck this amazing man is. So Mort, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, Reality Plus, and kind of give them the little deep dive?
Yes, I can try. It's the usable kind of like, pitch, right? So my name is Morten Rongaard. I am the CEO and co-founder of Reality Plus, also known as the Fat Viking, because first of all, I'm Danish, I'm furious, I'm dangerous, and I'm fat. So I don't run very fast, but if I get a grip of you, you're gonna die. So that's kind of like that's just to sum the whole thing up.
It's qualities you want in a CEO.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you can run, but you need to run really fast. Otherwise, I'll get a grip of you, right? So again, I started this company back in 2017 with my cool co-founder Tony Pierce. We both were super much into blockchain and really could see that this is going to change the future. That's why we went into it. Tony has a whole background from mobile games. And I've basically played games my whole life, all the way back from Commodore 64 and Amiga, and all the old goodies that maybe some of you are actually don't remember, but I do remember, and maybe that tells a little bit more of me than actually you guys.
No, I remember those days. I know Commodore 64. I remember the Commodore 128. Yes.
Oh, yeah, I still have it. I still have both. So I'm actually playing once a year with my son, kind of like bring them out and then start playing with him a whole weekend. So we just go nerds. So that's I just love that whole thing. But no, sorry, to go back. So I started this whole company. We had our own IP to start with, where we were one of the first companies in the world doing ERC20 NFTs, basically tokenizing ownership of digital assets. And I know that a lot of people, maybe also on this stream, have a kind of like strange relationship to NFTs. Just to quickly, from my point of view, why I think that NFTs is so cool. It's all about ownership. If you buy things today, digital, normally you actually don't own them because they are centralized in that sense. And I strongly believe in true ownership of the assets, meaning that if you bought it, you own it, you can do with it whatever you want and sell it, trade it, all these kind of things. And a lot of games today don't allow you to do that. And that was why I actually went all in when I started the company, and still are a massive believer of true ownership in that sense. Of course, technology matters in this case, but that's why I basically started the whole company. Pivoted into, approached BBC saying that you have such a cool IP that I would love to do a really cool game on. And in this case, it was Doctor Who. The IP was perfect fit from my point of view, where we could combine the lore, all the characters, build something amazing that will be fun, engaging, and people could own it, and also make it available for not only just the UK audience. I know you guys in the US also have a Doctor Who US kind of like history, but in this case, I wanted to take this to the whole worldwide because I think that this IP actually had the opportunity to go worldwide. So basically, everybody should understand all these cool characters that lives within the Doctor Who universe, and that was actually why I started this whole thing. And now, 2.5 years later, here we are. It's been a long journey. We've made tons of mistakes, and we are correcting those. And meanwhile, since we started, when you guys were actually involved from the first time until now, so many things has happened. We have changed a lot of things, changed gameplay, and now we actually have a good game, which is kind of like a mid-core, hardcore kind of like audience that we are that are playing the game right now, right? So not hyper casual, kind of like for everybody. So you need to have a little bit of knowledge before you can play this game, I would say, as it is right now. But that's also going to change. But we'll come back to that one a little bit later.
But even then,
I take exception with one small thing, though. Not all Americans. We have stuff here in Canada too.
Yeah, no, I know.
No, they don't.
I know.
They really don't.
No, they really don't. No.
They really don't.
I actually enjoyed the last time I was
there.
in Toronto and Vancouver. Actually, there was a massive audience there. Actually, bigger in the US. But maybe, Melanie, that's something that you can kind of like.
I will do my best to fix that.
I know.
I'll go to San Diego Comic-Con in July. I'll do my best to spread the word.
Fantastic. So that's a little bit with me, right? And now Reality Plus has moved not only to have Doctor Who. We actually announced this a couple of days ago. The trust from BBC that we have now built together with them the last 2.5 years, this partnership, helping them kind of like understanding the new Web3 blockchain, educating them, but also basically kind of like preparing them for the new generation, how you basically pivot into Web3. Now we can see that we've been trusted with taking all their brands into Web3 in the metaverse. So for me, that's a massive achievement, and I'm very, very proud of my whole team, who I know works tirelessly day after day, just like showing what actually this new technology can do for everybody. And even though if you don't know it, it's just running in the background, right? Which is our whole approach to this, because it's just a technology, but it opens up so many other opportunities from my point of view.
I'm excited for Thunderbirds.
Yes. And we've had actually, our, just to go that, and I know this is BBC and the whole thing, and of course ITV is Thunderbirds, so we don't want to steal that whole show, but we had the sandbox experience where we had it open for 14 days, the experience, and the amount of feedback we've got, and also we can see the stats, was absolutely amazing. It was mind-blowing to see the amount of hours being played, experiences basically completed, and even more people coming in and playing it than actually the avatar holders. So we actually saw a lot of engagement from that one. So I'm very excited to see when they're launching later this year, the sandbox. So yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We have much more to come also in the sandbox, but I can't reveal all of that.
That's fair. I didn't want. I mean, this is also a Doctor Who show. We don't want to go too far off. Not that we ever stay on the rails normally, but
But BBC, Doctor Who's going to come into Sandbox also, right? So maybe this is where we're going to see this a little bit. So almost like the theme park, kind of like all the different brands that you can have a Top Gear experience. You can have the Doctor Who, EastEnders, BBC News, and so on, right? So a lot of things is going to happen with all the different brands, and we're going to see how we basically can reimagine some of the old IPs, but also reimagine how normal users, but that's the wrong word to use, but the new generation, how they actually interact with an old IP, but reimagine in a new world. I think so. That's for me the most interesting part, and especially how the new generation are seeking information and seeking entertainment. I think so. That's going to be really interesting to see that kind of engagement.
So, Morten, with all the IPs you've got in the mist at Reality Plus, how are you protecting them on each of the IPs, or how are you protecting, like Doctor
Who? Protecting in what way? What do you think?
Guardian, making sure it's all like true to law, making sure that looks right.
Yeah, but basically it's a massive work, right? And I think a lot of people don't understand working with such a big company like BBC can be frustrating sometimes, right? But we also understand that they are protecting their own IP and protecting it basically so it's true against the law, everything that we do. And sometimes we can think it's small details, but the more we actually have worked with them for 2.5 years, we've also grown into understanding each other, both from their understanding us from our point of view, but also we have a much deeper understanding. Why are you so protective, right? And yes, it can be frustrating sometimes where, but you can see this is on law, right? Because sometimes we also have to admit that there is so much on the whole Doctor Who show that I can understand why sometimes it can be hard to know everything, right? So sometimes we are highlighting, but this actually happened in the show, so why can't we show it? But it can be anything from rights to maybe it was, in this case, sometimes an American kind of like, or a spin-off, and some of these things that it's just like not on point, right? And with going back to the Time of Victorious, we can actually see that we didn't have a lot of information when we started back then. We had to buy the basically the books and the magazines, and my law master had to go in and kind of like, okay, I'm seeing this, I'm reading it, I'm reading the books, but there was no pictures, and there was actually no library pictures about how do we see this person or this character. So we had to kind of like imagine it and visualize it, put it in front of BBC. This is the context. Can you approve this one? We don't have any image, so we have nothing, but can you actually approve this? So that took actually a very long time. We were then lucky from the first TLV launch we did until the new one we recently did, that they have actually updated with a lot of law. So it was much easier for us to kind of like get approvals, but it was a challenge, but also fun because we could put a little bit of kind of like our own impression on some of these things, right? But so we have a little footprint in the history of BBC moving forward.
Well,
so that was fun.
That speaks a lot to your company that you have a lore master. So not only are you showing the BBC that you are abiding by their IP rules, they're like, for licensing, that you're going to stick to everything, but you're also sticking to the continuity of the property.
Yep.
So it helps both parties that you have somebody that says, look, this is what we can do. We can do this, 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 this. And that way, like any type of even in a scientific endeavor where you want to have your resources to cite, you have a lore master that can turn around and say, well, you did it in here, 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 and here.
Yes.
Can we have approval? And it makes that approval to come a little easier when that person at the BBC doesn't have to go through and go, oh, wait, let me go do my research to verify. Oh, wait. Yeah, it checks out. Here you go.
And that was actually in the beginning. It was actually quite fun because my law master actually held back. He held back a little bit, right, saying that, oh, but they've just not approved this one, which I don't understand because it's actually on law. And I said, have you said anything? No, but it's the BBC. Fucking tell them. Like, if they're wrong, fucking tell them they're wrong. Like, And it was kind of like he was just like, but can I do that? You're the fucking law master. If you need backup, I'll be there. I will slay them. I don't care. Like, I will tell them that you are wrong. Like, if you don't, but I will back you up, because if you can back it up with evidence, you just need to do referrals and to say that, but this show, like you said before, Melanie, right? This and this is actually on point. You can refer to it. You can show it. Then they need to come up with a really good kind of like reasoning why they don't want to do it. And sometimes, yes, they can't do that and saying, but we don't want to do that, or it's a different kind of approach we want to take, or a different way, right? So we've grown into that kind of like where we respect each other and we can have some big discussions around it. But at the end, we find common basically ground and just saying that this is okay, fair enough. We go forward and we find compromises. That's what a partnership is, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
It's really good. It's good. And I'm happy now my law master got a little bit, I can't say the word, but got a little bit kind of like they falling down, right? So he put down and then they fall down. So that was really good. So yeah, it's all.
So
all
there could be a possibility. Sorry, Melanie. So it could be a possibility with a crossover with Doctor Who and EastEnders and Doctor Who and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
I would love it, but I need to mix the Viking into all this, right? Because again, if they can mix that one, I need a Viking in. Like I keep saying it to them, and I know there is a BBC reference to Vikings also in one episode. So I'm just saying, I'm just waiting for my entry into this whole universe. Like I'll enter at some point. I'm promising you that.
You will be the physical model for the artist.
Yes,
as well. So that you're literally in there. Like, well, we need an image. So, and you don't have anything. So they described it as this. We feel here. They can say yes or no. Because you did do that to a certain point with the Time Lord Victorious items. That I believe your property, the Doctor Who Worlds Apart, is the first thing to give an image to certain aspects.
Yes. Yeah, and it was really, that was one of the most interesting parts to imagine that whole thing. How do we see this thing? How do we envision this one, right? And I think our law master was actually that he was super hyped about that. He did so much research around, but have we seen this before, or can we see it in one context? So he actually built up this whole, where I think Mackenzie can refer to this one, kind of like the whole imagination. I could just see it when I was talking to him, like, his eyes was just popping out, because again, he was so much into it, right? And that's what I love, that no matter if I can call him up now, 3 a.m. in the morning, ask him some question about Doctor Who, he will answer like this. Like I've never met a guy who has the knowledge, so much knowledge about Doctor Who like he did. So I'm blessed with having these kind of like people on my team, and they are all living and breathing it,
which is awesome. So we've got some new people who have joined us, obviously. So what I want to do is I'm going to show you guys this video one more time. And then when we come back from that, we can talk a little bit more about your most recent release that's coming out.
Yes. Fantastic.
Yay. And we just have to scroll down and turn. Nope, that's not the video. That's the background again.
Push the button.
I have to do it just as well as Christian, right?
That's true.
And welcome back to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. We are talking about Doctor Who Worlds Apart with Morten Rongaard from Reality Plus. Welcome back. So we don't see anything in that video, but you guys have a new release that we got up on our little poster graphic, but there it is with all of our graffiti all over it.
Yeah, but again, I have to say that teaser video, right? I love it. I simply love it. That music is triggering my Viking DNA. I want to go out and conquer everything, right? Because it kind of like you feel majestic, kind of like, just going out there because of the music, the sounds, everything. I love it,
It's well done because it builds anticipation for the game. It builds the fact that you're playing towards winning. Even the part where the images of the thing spinning to show some of the gameplay, it's showing in a natural progression of, okay, these are your cards, and then this is how they work, this is how they fight, this is how, and I love how it even have the one where it's like 1, 2, 3, you win, and then flips to the next one. So kudos to whoever edited it, because that was just perfect.
It just shows the brilliant people, right? It's definitely not me who has made it, so I just love it because again, it's so well executed, right? I know we spent a lot of time with it, and again, going into BBC, gets the approval back and forth. Also took time. Again, what do we want to emphasize? We don't want to maybe have too much sound on when people are trading, because we don't want to basically see that this is a money-making game in that sense. Like, we didn't want to kind of like highlight that. So there was a really, I got a lot of good feedback from back and forth, where we're kind of like, this is what we want to show. We want to have the different sequences, but also make it so people could see, and we can always replace some of the footage also moving forward, right? When we had more and other kind of like elements we can add into it, right? So I just love my video, in that sense. So yeah.
Sure.
If you guys are listening to this on audio, you're not watching the video, go over to our YouTube and watch, because it's not just epic music, but just gorgeous graphics, top to bottom. Great.
Yeah.
Sorry, I jumped over you there.
It's the perfect thing that if you were going to have a trailer, that it's like, and you're going to your channel, like Twitch channel, you would have a trailer to introduce who you are. That is the type of video you want.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, then going into our recent release, right? Because we did a lot of updates on the website. We're constantly updating it. It will have a big haul the next kind of like 4 months now. We're going into a lot of redoing some of the old legacy website stuff that we did, because it's out of date. It's kind of like where we started. Some of it, yes, we just need to update with a better UI and maybe a better user journey, stuff like that. But back then it was all about making sure taking community feedback in. They wanted this function, we built it, quickly released it. Some of it definitely not thought of, and that's what, when you have a team now who actually has maybe, in that sense, more experience than we did when we started back then, they're just saying, "Oh, you're doing it all wrong. What the fuck have you done?"
It's like same thing as purchasing a car. You get the brand new model that comes out. You're excited for the new model. You're excited that they're taking all these inspiration from all these the brands. You build a new model, but you know that even though if you're getting the year 2000 of that model, 2001, it's going to have better features. 2002 will have better features, and so on, so forth. So now you buy something that's 2023, or now pretty soon we're getting 2024 models. You're going to get the latest and greatest technology as you keep going, and that's a testament to your game as well. You're building. There are going to be nuances that aren't going to be so great. You're identifying them and you're fixing them, and you're making them amazing. So
yeah. And again, it's just a long journey, right? Again, we're in it for the long run, right? And again, we know that some of the stuff look good on paper. Yes, they look really good when you're developing it, and then it just takes time, or it can't be approved, or it's just taking longer than we expected. That's just normal development, right? But what we can see is that, and we can even see from the beginning, just the artwork we've seen, right? When we did this in the pre-sale to start with, we suddenly could see that selling all the different cards gave us revenue, so we can actually invest in that, reinvest in artists who cost 5-6 times better or more. But actually, we can also see the artwork improve so much, right? And the artwork I'm seeing right now, because I was amazed back then by people, because I'm not, my drawing skills is very minimum. So just like just seeing it back then when we started, I was amazed. Like, this is super cool. I love it, right? But seeing the artwork now, we have some artists working in-house, and we still have some freelancers also that we use sometime. But especially because we have a lot of old legacy, the Unearthly Origins that we're redoing right now.
Mm-hmm.
But these artists, some of them that they're doing, and also now have done some of these frames, I'm just like blown away. Oh, this is just a concept. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like,
well, yeah, especially the frames, because they're sculpted. This is a 3-dimensional frame that it's done by an artist, and they're using the tools in a digital realm where they're using ZBrush, they're using all those types of things to make. They're actually sculpting these frames out beautifully so that you can pivot them and see everything in a 360 view. And they are, some of them are just absolutely amazing, especially with the 2 new drips coming out. I was watching your last YouTube live stream that you guys were on, and I was just amazed, which some of our people will be seeing what I'm alluding to shortly.
Yes.
And this is where my finance team sometimes like saying to me, like, Morten, okay, why are we paying this much for a frame and cards? Like, that's because you're not a gamer. You're just a finance person. You're just looking at the numbers, saying that that's a lot of money you're spending on it. Yes, but have you seen it? And that's like, especially when you work with it. And we've redone even the core frames and stuff like that. The Black Diamond. When I saw that, I was like, mind blowing, right? And now we see all this, and won't take more, Dave, so we can show the frames, but the new drip 1 and drip 2, which is simply amazing, right? And seeing those, yes, the Kirkabite and again the Blood Cylinder frame, simply amazing, right? And we have the vampire, and then our beautiful sisters. I'm still amazed by these, the Vampire Sisters frame, right? So,
I must admit, the black onyx diamond or crystal, whatever you want to call it, is amazing. It's one of my favorite cards so far out of all from Legacy users.
Yeah, and it's quite funny actually, because we have sold an airdrop roughly around, I think, with the core packs of the Unearthly Origins, if I'm not mistaken, around 450,000 packs in total. And you can still find some of because it's really hard to find a legendary in a Black Diamond frames. You can still find some very low serial numbers in that combo because it's really hard to find. So it is amazing, and especially now with the new frame, it's just love it.
Well, why don't I bring up my? I'm going to turn off the audio because even though the website has some cool audio.
Okay.
Why don't we take a look at a couple of these cards? Because you were nice enough to send us some stuff.
Yes.
That would be
and
cool.
We can open these up a little bit over the course of a few different episodes.
Yeah.
But definitely start with some right now.
Yeah, and I can start saying that what you can see here now, actually, because one of the biggest change we have done so far, actually, that took a long time, is that we have done 2 things. We have, first of all, tokenized the pack themselves. That now actually when you're buying these packs, and drip 1 and drip 2 are the first packs that we're doing, so this doesn't basically it's not affecting the old packs. We can't go back and change that, but these new ones actually are now tokenized, meaning that you can trade them without opening them, and inside we instead before was actually just sequentially kind of like open up. So the first one opened would have the serial ones. That was not fair to a lot of people, especially if you're sitting on maybe joining the show a little bit later. You're not on the right time, so maybe you're on a different kind of like a bad connection and so on. So we have randomized the serial numbers, meaning that long term for this project, we want this to be fair to everybody. So just because you come in and buy first, it doesn't mean that actually you're gonna get the low serial numbers. And I think that is the biggest change we've done. And also now that you can actually buy a pack and not open it and gift it to someone, or sell it and just keep it as a rare digital item, like we see sneakers and stuff like that, where you're never going to use it. I think that's amazing. For me, that is one of the biggest, and also been one of the hardest things that we've done, kind of like technology-wise, because it's a lot of moving elements in this one, especially making sure that once you have like in this case 10,000 of each of these packs in total. But with this one, there's a bonus pack to it. So basically, the first 1,000 of each of these that you're going to buy at drip 1 and drip 2, you're going to get the bonus pack. So,
is that the Lair of Shadows there?
Which one?
The extra bite. Is that extra bite pack?
Yeah, the layer of shadows. Yes, exactly. The extra bite, which is not tokenized. This is the only thing that this pack is not tokenized, but the frame itself is tokenized, of course, when you open it. But the pack, you can't sell that one and basically just open it. And actually, to be honest, it was for us a little bit of test to see if this was the right approach we wanted to take. So we can't promise it. Maybe actually in the future, some new bonus packs that we're going to do, we might tokenize. But again, we want to learn every single day, and the team needs to learn. So sometimes we're taking decisions purely just because we need to learn from it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But again, going back to these packs, so just making sure when you tokenize a pack, make sure that you save inside and actually you have an equal shot. And again, what kind of serial numbers has been taken? You need to keep that in order and so on. So you can actually save these packs for several years and don't open them. But then when you bring them back, if you have taken them out and said, let's say you want to take them out to OpenSea, list them, you can only open them if you bring them back into the system. So you can't open them on OpenSea. You can sell it, you can trade it, you can do all these things. But if you want to open it and basically see what kind of cards you got inside, you need to take them back to the platform.
Okay.
Well, let's take a look. Why don't we take a look? Which one do you think I should open first here?
Oh yeah. Again, I have a thing, and I know Christian is. He's I have a thing for the Vampire Sisters.
The sisters.
I think they're so hot.
We need to see the sisters.
Right.
Because they're really well drawn. I mean, come on.
Yes.
The artist was on point for this.
Yeah, and here you can see the pack type, tradable, for sale, how many in circulation, and again on the front you could actually see what serial number your pack had. So if you're going back, and then you can see the different kind of like frame, the drop rates. You can see again looking amazing, right? The Vampire Sisters and all that, and especially the back side. You can only see the front on that one, but if you go back, you up at the top left, you can see that, Dave. Then actually you can go back and open the pack if you want to. A little bit up.
Which one did you do?
Up there.
Yeah. And then actually the big button in the bottom, open pack, you can click on it, and then it's asking you, are you sure you want to open the pack? Because what's happened now is actually that you are now opening it, and now the cards will now be sent to the blockchain and being tokenized with the serial numbers and be synchronizing back to your platform or to the platform and to your account, and basically you will have a certificate telling what kind of serial numbers that you got. So in this case, you still don't know it because right now they're being minted. So you don't know it until they actually have the certificate, or you can see them appear in your collection with the serial numbers.
Just for the record, there's some really cool sound effects with that. I turned them off.
Yeah.
So you have to actually go buy a pack yourself to hear it, because talking over it sucks.
The one thing that I absolutely love that you guys have tokenized the pack itself and then opening them up. The fact that you've basically done that wrapper where you've done so many more things that for me as someone that's collected trading cards, both sports cards and other memorabilia cards, that for me I can make that analogy quickly on what you're doing, and both from I own this standpoint. And yes, there's a monetary, maybe this will increase in value standpoint, because there are packs like for me, I do collect baseball cards. And one of the things that I'll chase is a wax pack that is still sealed. And sometimes those can be tampered with and they can be opened with steam and all that kind of stuff. You guys have now made a way that for people who like me do collect things like that, you've made a way that there's no way that this pack has ever been opened whatsoever. It's got a number on it. I don't have to worry about grading or anything. And it's something that I can keep, I can trade, I can wait to see if it's in value, or I'll just say that for a rainy day when I really want to just open this up. So I really love the idea of being able to tokenize and have that wrapper sealed, it's closed, it's got a number, but then once that wrapper's open, it's gone.
Exactly. Bye-bye. And the next thing we're actually, and again, a lot of this also, this is where we work with the community, right? And to be frank, like when we had when we had all these kind of like frames approved and wanted to do the packs and all that, actually because one thing that we hadn't thought about, to be honest, was about what is now the incentive now that we removed basically from the early buyers coming in, because they will get low serial numbers. And it was actually a community coming back to us to say, but what's the incentive for early buyers? And that's why actually we created, so we had 5 frames, so we created 2 packs and then the 5th frame we were using as a bonus one, right? So that is kudos to the community, kind of like always keeping us on our toes and making sure, have you thought about this? And this is something that we haven't been, I would say, the best, because we've been in development a lot lately, and we haven't maintained the community like we wanted. And that's something that we are going back now to improve. So it's really something that I'm spending a lot of time now going back to. Besides, I'm a CEO, the whole company is scaling, but I've missed my community. And actually, I've said to even my board saying, I need to prioritize this. This is not a normal CEO kind of like a role to spend so much time in the community, but this is Web3. I need to spend time there. I need to listen and understand what are the community thinking, how we're treating them, what are they worried about, how, all these things, right? And how can we engage more with them? So it's been a lot of the last couple of months. Has been a lot of kind of like follow up with the community and making sure we get back on track. And especially also now that, which we're going to reveal a little bit later, some of the exciting futures or the exciting future ahead. So,
okay. One of these over.
There you go.
Total respect to the web designers, the programmers, the artists, and the beta testers, because I've been watching this develop over the last year, and it's gone from version to version a lot better. Just the graphics, the animation, and there's still stuff to do. I can see that, but they've done so well.
Absolutely.
So turn around the first card. What card you got?
Oh.
It doesn't seem to show what they are anymore.
No, but that's going to improve in when we're going to have the new pack opening sequence, because one of the things actually we wanted to highlight the artwork much more.
Yeah.
Because it's so cool, right? But one of the things that we actually didn't think about is like what people also ask, and we also said to ourselves, but where's the rarity symbols and all these things actually now?
Yeah.
And we were just so focused. So that's coming in an update that we're doing, but we're doing a new pack opening sequence basically just to improve that whole thing also. So it's much more modern, up to date. This is again from the start where we dig back then, and we want to make it more, I would say, more on brand right now than I think it is. It's still good, I love it, but again, sometimes you can also be kind of like drawn down into kind of like, yeah, but we used to, and this is what we kind of like what we did and all that, and I can just see with the team around me now are just so good. Oh, Hugo, perfect combo you're getting there. That's a really nice combo.
And that's one thing I remember when we were doing pack openings at the beginning. Ooh, it's like, oh wait, we have a cover. For the pack box cover. It's like, oh wait a minute. When we were doing packs before the game first initially came out, I remember a lot of us, you just saw the screen doing this and trying to read, and you just saw everyone's foreheads trying to read everything. So here, opening it up, you're just showing the art. You're getting that, look at this, and you're kind of like, oh my, you can have that kind of elation of, oh, that's amazing artwork. But I could see where some people are like, they're looking for those rarity symbols.
Yes.
So I could see where they were like, oh, I need to know the value and all this other kind of stuff, the playability of the card, and then maybe going in and going, okay, how does the card play? So I can see where you have all these avenues that you could have gone. There's no perfect answer.
No,
but you can, because everyone can make that an argument too. Well, why don't you do this? Well, why don't you do this? It's like, okay,
exactly.
Little by little, y'all, we'll get there.
Yeah, and again, are you asking marketing? Are you asking marketing, or are you asking game studio guys? Right?
Yes.
Because marketing guys will say you need all this information in, and studio guys will say, yeah, but look at the artwork. Like, look at this one.
Right.
Look at how it animated. See, it got big and it zoomed. Yeah. Isn't that awesome? It's like,
yeah. Exactly.
And for me, I'm an analog board game player. I look at this, I go, I mean, this is gorgeous. I love seeing this, but I want to know what the cards do.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, I'm the one that's like, I want to see the art.
Yeah, and that was the one thing that we talked a lot about, was about how when you play the game online, a lot of times you're like, and if you're on, like with me, when I do it on Twitch, I'll have people in chat go, what does that card do? I can't read it. And no. So it's kind
and that was a massive problem, because when we started back then, right, we also made the first the Honorary Origins cards. We made them super complex, a lot of text on it, and kind of like, it was just it was not suitable, and that's why we had to redo a lot of them, right? Especially from the game designer point of view, they've spent now the time ever since redoing some of our old mistakes. And like I said, yeah, but they look good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Morten,
my biggest problem is I do this on a trackpad, so the whole being able to right click stuff, like when we're playing, I'm like, what does that
But
do?
that's
I
gonna
don't
change.
know. Whatever.
It's going to change in the new pack opening sequence. You're going to see rarities. You're also going to see the text and all that. So it's going to be a whole different kind of like experience.
Oh, I'm so excited about that because it's like one of the games that I play a lot is Genshin Impact, and we have in there they have the Invocation TCG game, and I will admit a lot of mistakes they've made, you guys made, but you made it and corrected it right away, whereas they're going the opposite way. And I'm like, they really need to talk to you guys, learn how to do it.
Morten, what would you say percentage-wise of how many people either play the game or just card collectors, or a mixture of both, if you would say percentage?
I think right now we have a mix. Actually, I think we still have a healthy mix. There's a lot of course, people just collecting cards, but I think it's because it's still the gameplay itself is aimed towards mid-core and hardcore kind of like trading card gamers, and I think it's too complex to them, for them, right, to play. I actually think also the tutorial, all these things that we didn't have in. So honestly, I think we wanted on purpose back then when we decided this, we wanted to be between Hearthstone and Magic the Gathering, kind of like in that mix, totally on purpose. We can also see that it was the right choice back then, right? But is it then aimed for a Web3 moving forward, where you want a lot of gamers coming in, and especially if you want to, there will always be speculators, right? But if you want to speculate a little bit in your cards going up and all these kind of things, we want more players in, right? Because again, it needs to be fun. Because right now, like you say, that you're searching for a game and nobody's playing, right? Because again, developing an AI opponent to this type of game is so difficult, which I totally underestimated back then when I did it, and that wasn't until we actually did the discovery phase, where they said, have you seen how hard this is going to be to make an AI opponent on this one? So moving forward, and especially now with BBC announcing that they were doing the Disney Plus partnership, we also knew that now basically Doctor Who would be broadcasted to the whole world. So maybe we need to redo, and actually in partnership, BBC asked us, saying that maybe we should redo the gameplay, kind of like make it a little bit more hyper casual, and maybe a little bit more towards that everybody can actually understand it. And we have actually now found a super, super cool way where we are even more, I would say, on lore, and actually including the past, the present, and the future.
Awesome.
The TARDIS, moving through time and space. And I can't wait for us to reveal it and actually show it to people. And I've just done the internal kind of like final thumbs up, green light meeting, played that the other day. So everything is on track, and we're going to release the mobile version before BBC starts in November on Disney Plus.
Ooh,
very cool. Do you find that casual gamers would need more of an AI to play with, or do you think it's more the hardcore gamers that would be the one that would need I'm also saying casual gamers would probably come in, play a few, have fun, then realize, oh, I'm off break, I got to go back to work, or that kind of casual thing. But then your hardcore gamers, like, I just got home from work, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to play for a while, I'm going to go find friends, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So you think the casual gamer would be the one that would have more or less need that either no web or an AI, so that they can kind of get in and then get addicted, and then be like, ooh, this is like crack, now I need to come home and play this.
Yes. Yeah, but I think they need that good experience around it, right? Because I think right now, if they're coming into this type of game that we have right now, I think it's too hard for them, right? We're losing them, right? We don't want to lose them, because I can see that once we have them in, and actually because the community is so great, they're really good in kind of like taking people in, even though they come, let's say, from a speculative point of view, kind of like from a trading point of view, they suddenly find out that the community is super cool, laid back, actually helping you, educating you, and want to keep you engaged within the community. And I can see actually some of them we've converted from becoming a speculator into what I call a fan. And suddenly we can actually see that they're sticking around, and actually now they're investing the time in understanding the game because they know that, okay, cool. Yes, the speculative trading is kind of like secondary because it's actually really cool. I love the community. I love spending time here. So I think it's about this whole kind of like bringing people in, and the community that you build, I think is going to be even more important. And yes, casual gamers coming in, but I think if we can find a way to onboard them from the game itself and come into the community and the Discord, that is where I think there's a lot of value, right? Where this whole like what I call proof of contribution is something that I'm working on a lot. We've done a research paper with the University of Copenhagen and together with Ahmed University in Melbourne, who are experts in community and culture. And we've actually tried to see how can we manage hypergrowth, because that's one of the challenges now that we go out with a different game. We're now being broadcasted to via Disney Plus. Our community will grow. So how will we manage hypergrowth in decentralized communities, basically, right? So that's a big question, but we needed to prepare ourselves, kind of like how can we identify scammers, traders, all these kind of like different people coming in, and how can we identify the right people with the right mindset and values that we want to invest in. So I've actually created together with the universities an AI model that can actually identify who is actually doing what I call proof of contribution, hitting the right value, educating, helping, sharing, reporting, all these things where you protect the community itself. And that's something that we are now rolling out basically into our Discord also. So it's really interesting.
So we looked at one of the drip ones with mine.
Yeah.
These are some of Mark's cards. Do we want to look at a drip 2?
Yes, we need to.
Yes.
So this is the Layer of the Shadows drip 2 pack. So let's open pack and see what we get. And we confirm.
And they want your wrapper.
I do like these blood ones.
Blood cylinder.
These ones,
it's so beautiful. Just see the artwork on that one, right? Especially when you turn around, but on the back, just see it, the details, right? Again, I'm amazed about our artists, right? Creating this. It's just mind blowing.
Okay, let's do this one. Ooh. That looks like a nice little vampire.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, perfect combo also. It's like fueling
the
planet, right? And this one also perfect combo. I also think so, right?
Yeah, because you have all the tubes kind of coming up and in, and then you've got the 3. Yeah,
that's Rose Tyler, isn't it?
No, Rose Tyler, yeah.
She's awesome. She's got good stats.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I've got her already. She's amazing on stats. But not with this frame.
Not with this frame, no. And then the Kirkobite, actually. I actually become more and more fond of the Kirkobite frame in the beginning. Wasn't fond of it. Wasn't fond of the concept back then. But once I saw it when they did it, I was kind of like, oh, this is now actually, it's growing on me, right? You always have your own favorites, but this is suddenly something that is really just, I like the details of it.
Ooh.
No, Rev, caffeinate, not hydrate.
No, we caffeinate here. Actually, I am hydrating. I've got water.
I'm on UK root beer. Okay, let's have a look at the other ones.
Oh, let me pop that down.
What else one? No, that one. I can't remember what that one's called. Ooh. Is that
Couture, right?
That one there?
That one right there, honestly, I love how that complements the frame because the purple and everything's from the bottom. And now it looks as if the purple from the bottom is kind of being pushed up and into the artwork itself.
Yeah.
And then that way you have all it kind of tendriling up and over. So
like
that one really
right?
complements.
Yeah. Almost like he's elevated.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like he's casting down like magical purple spell, and it's just going around the card as well. That is quite awesome.
Yeah.
Is that the
time fraction?
Time frame, yeah.
Actually, we actually had all our mods playing that time fracture at the Immersive Theatre in London when that was playing. So we had the mods over to that experience, that was amazing. Like that was
It
really,
was.
really
Oh
fun.
my god, that was so good.
It was really, really good. I was kind of like, shit, you know, it really kind of like, just to see the characters, how the whole thing was built, and you know all the details. I was kind of like amazed, and honestly, I could spend all my time in that bar listening to her singing. Kind of like that was so good. She was so good.
Oh, it was
been
mind blowing. I got to go through it twice in a day, and they gave me a backstage tour.
Oh,
in between,
okay.
And even having done this tour and seen all of the little secret everythings, there was still a bunch of stuff that I saw that I didn't see when they did that.
Yeah.
It was such a good concept. They had such bad luck with that location.
Yeah, that was a shame. Yeah,
flooding out and then COVID.
Yeah, I'm
and
saying timing, but you're right.
Yeah.
I forgot that they had a flooding issue.
Yeah,
True.
so
Yeah.
that shut them down
They
for a
had
while.
COVID and flooding.
Yeah,
COVID and flooding.
but they've got a couple of trucks worth of props. BBC just went, here's our props warehouse. Have fun. So
Here's the
they're
keys.
gonna
Just bring them
do
back
more.
later. Okay, fine. Bye.
Never gonna see me again.
And they've got
Exactly.
is the I don't know if you know, either of you know over on that side, is the Peaky Blinders show that the same producers did, is that still going?
Yes. No, I actually think that ended, right? I think
Did it
that
just end?
I think it's ended. I'm actually not sure.
I think it has, yeah.
Yeah. But it was truly amazing. That was also a really, really good experience. So I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for my Star Trek or my Star Wars.
Ooh. Well, if you get over here, there's a couple of months left. You can do the Star Wars all inclusive.
Oh, the Galactic Cruiser.
Galactic,
Stop.
yeah, the Galactic thing.
I can't.
You're tempting me now, Dave.
I want to do it.
Business expense.
Yeah.
It's $5 grand.
We will do
for
an
the 2
in-person
nights.
interview with you because it's in Orlando. Half the team is there. You come. We'll do a live thing, and it's straight up. There's a business expense.
It's sold already, Dave. You have sold
It's sold. Oh
it.
God.
Yeah.
That's it.
I take it.
Tell me when you want to go. I'll go to the Galactic Star Cruiser as well.
Yeah.
No. See, I just did Star Wars Celebration, so I was just over in London and had fun, like that kind of fun stuff.
Oh.
But yes.
So nice. So does someone else want? We have it because we have a third type of pack. We're getting close to an hour here. Do we want to open one of those bonus packs? Melanie, Mackenzie, do one of you guys want to bring up?
Yeah, and again, just to tell a bit about the bonus packs, right? Because you can
and we'll open the rest of them over on the air.
Absolutely right. But when you buy one of the Drip 1 or the Drip 2, you're gonna get the bonus pack for the first 1,000 packs. Is gonna accompany basically with a bonus pack to it, right? So 1,000 of the first Drip 1, then they're gonna be 1,000 airdrop basically of the bonus pack. The same with Drip 2, 1,000. So meaning that there will only be 2,000 basically in circulation of this frame. Of the bonus frame, right? And especially if you hit the right combo, again with the right serial number and so on, amazing, right? You know, we're really, really touching something, and I think it's looking amazing. I really love that frame from the beginning. I just think that this is such a cool frame, and we actually had a lot of issues with the elbows, how to position them, because it was holding like on the back. We can see it when we open it, so it was actually quite funny. So kind of like looked like you've broken both your arms when we did the first concept because the elbows was kind of like sticking out. So we never noticed it until one of the artists said, "Oh, by the way, what have I done?" Kind of like I need to turn the elbows because they looked strange. So that was quite fun.
Oh, we already.
What'll do? I think
we've got people talking about Galactic
mine.
Star Cruiser now.
Okay, yeah.
They're like, okay, I want to go. I'm trying to get into
mine.
right
We'll open a few more when we start up the after party over exclusively on Twitch. But for now, why don't I open this one up because then we get to see it.
Yeah. So this is the new one, and actually you can see now where the arms is positioned right in front of you, where we had before actually the arm was like twisting out a little bit more, like the elbows was pointing forward. So it actually kind of like it just looks strange, right? So we spend a lot of time on this, and I think looking at it, the details is just
and because that's the frame, that's the back of the frame, the back of the card, right?
Yeah, no, this is the front actually,
or the front.
Yeah. And then this is the back, but looking at it in game, it's actually the back who's going to be the front. So yes, you're right on that one.
But I love it. It's holding the picture.
Yes, exactly, on the back,
which is kind of cool.
Yeah. And again, the details you can see on it, right? And again, the lights and all this, the shaders.
Mhm.
I really just love it. It's really, really good.
Yeah,
Especially when you can see it in
absolutely.
3D, spinning it around. When you're gonna see that it's looking so good.
Can I do that?
That's in the launcher. Yeah, you can go in and you can
Ooh,
search,
I can do
you
that.
can filter
Yeah. Search. What should I search?
the frame name. You can see. Yeah.
Sure. What was the frame name again?
Or you can see the frame name up in the filter. You can see that on the left.
Derp. Blood Cylinder. It's one of them.
Salient Warrior. If you go down, if you want to show that, unless you want to show one of the other ones.
Oh, any of them.
I've got it set up, Dave, with Rose Tyler.
Oh, okay. I'll switch over. Yeah. Switch back over here. You've got add to stream. There we go.
So this is the Rose Tyler with a blood cylinder frame.
Again, try and see the details, right? You just see the vampires on the top.
Vampires, and we've reverse it. You got that, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Why did you go with purple rather than red? Was it some sort of like trying to
again a little bit? BBC doesn't like blood in that sense.
Okay, so it doesn't like horror.
Yeah, they don't like the horror part, right? Because actually, when we when we kind of like suggested them the first kind of like names for this, they actually refused it simply because it contained blood and kind of like they didn't want it. So that's why we went with the purple instead, kind of like see how that would fit in with the also the old
Gothic style.
Yeah, exactly. And the old cards also, where it was a little bit more purple instead of red because they don't like it, right? And again with Rose Tyler, fun story with her. She's actually really hard to get approval on. So we had to put a mask on her because she doesn't want to be portrayed as a vampire in that sense.
Oh, okay.
So if you click on the view in-game version,
yeah,
and then you can see what the card can actually do.
Yeah.
So that, and you can tell the difference. So I've got two of these ones. So this is the new frame, the blood cylinder frame, which is absolutely awesome. So if I go back, scroll down to my collection, and this is the standard frame.
Yes.
For bronze.
Bronze frame. Yeah.
So the card, I think, is exactly the same in game, isn't it?
Exactly, and this is again the concept. When we did this back then, we wanted to make a game where basically it's not a pay-to-win game. We wanted to make sure that any kind of player coming in 5 years down the line could come in and basically buy some of the original cards for a kind of like a low price and kind of like not overpriced, right? Like we've seen in a lot of other games, even though it's still a collectible. But in this case, that's why we created the core frames, where the core frames is unlimited in that sense, and basically you can have 1,000 of these, right? But in this case, the card ability will always be the same. So the scarcity is around the card combo, the card and the frame itself. And actually, so we could avoid that whole pay-to-win kind of like situation, and you're still like something for collectors, but people who just want to play the game but think this is a really cool card, they can still go in and buy them, and we can see trades. And this is why I think a healthy marketplace is that you can find trades from 50 cents to a couple of hundred for the really cool legendary combos, stuff like that. But average kind of cards is between, I would say, from 50 cents to maybe $2-3, which I think is a healthy sign. Like, people can actually afford coming in. You can still buy the pack itself, but if you want something cool in that sense, and now with the game coming, you can actually unlock them, meaning that you can upgrade them, right? So unlock them from kind of like the standard frame up until the Black Diamond frame, just purely with gameplay, right? You can't buy that one. You need to play in order to unlock and actually earn the XP in order to unlock kind of like the next, what I call visual kind of like appearance of the frame itself.
Like leveling up.
Yeah. And you can't buy that one, right? Again, because otherwise it will be pay to win. I don't like that. I want to make sure that we have a system that basically that accepts everybody from even a speculator to just one who wants to game. But I want to make sure that the gamer itself, that's why I keep referring to what I call proof of contribution. For me, it's actually even more valuable a person who comes in and spending time playing the game and just like they should have rewards and get basically utility that you can't buy your way into. That's kind of like just my philosophy in that sense, right? And luckily, I'm with a team that also follows that same philosophy, because that's what we want to make sure that we basically cover every aspect of all kind of players and all kind of like users in our community. We can definitely see some people is only speculating and only are trading in that sense, right? And not playing. But I think that will change when we do maybe when we have a game where I think it would float more and more together. I think right now they are too much separated.
Okay.
And there needs to be a narrative around, like, going in and out, and also how can you in the game bring some of your NFTs that you can display, stuff like that. You can brag about it. I think there's going to be a lot of things that people will see that we have thought about, that we have also know that has been suggested by the community, that we are now basically integrated. I think sometimes it just takes longer time, even from us, kind of like understanding all the different kind of like doing the whole R&D, I would say, in that sense, kind of like do the whole research, do the development, see how it works. Is this actually the outcome that we wanted, or is it basically doing anything else? A/B split testing, it just takes time, and sometimes I'm impatient, right? Because, I want this, like, I know that the community wants this, but maybe it's actually not a sustainable solution that you're putting out there. And that's why you need to be held back sometimes by people with much more experience. And that's just how it is.
But that's
Morten,
also good that you trust
Well,
the people who are under you and are giving you the advice to say, maybe you shouldn't, and that you trust them to go, okay, you're an expert in your field. I know this is where you're much better at, than I am. So that, okay, I'm gonna trust you on this, and it's been working beautifully for Reality Plus.
Yeah, and again, like I said, I've hired them for a reason, right? Again, if I knew all this, I would just do it myself. But I don't know all this. I have an opinion, and I'm always happy to share my opinion. That doesn't mean that I'm right. And sometimes also as a CEO, which I've also learned, is that sometimes you need to be the last person speaking, because otherwise, it will be biased. The room could quickly kind of like, okay, so the CEO this is his opinion, so we should just go with that one. But that's actually not what I want. I want people to be honest, share their own kind of opinion. This is what I believe in. Because if I come into a room and basically see a designer do something, I could just say, I don't like the purple. Like, why are you making it purple, right? That alone will make him doubt his own decision that this should actually be purple. So these kind of things is where I've also learned that my role is also changing as a CEO, and sometimes I need to be very much aware about my own impact going into a room, right? And actually, I'm still learning, I have to say, Melanie. I'm I still speak too much, and I still kind of like say my opinion, but I am trying to be better and actually be the last person speaking.
Like you're saying about purple, you're cognizant of not saying that first, because now you're realizing by saying that somebody who is going to know that there is a hierarchy in business, that's the way it is, and that they're going to go, oh, he doesn't like purple, and now they might not put purple in anything going forward because they're going to think you're not going to approve it. And I only say that because I've worked on catalogs before, because I know the CEO, the VP of marketing, blah, blah, blah. One person didn't like blue, or one person loved blue. So you knew, okay, well, I'm designing, I'm going to go this color. And here you're being very proactive in knowing I want the best product that's out there. Let's see what the artist shows me. And then, oh, darn, I fell in love with it anyway, even though it maybe it wasn't singing to me now, singing to me then.
Exactly. And like I said, the Kirkabite, right? Like I said, it grew on me suddenly, right? Because in the beginning, really didn't like it, but I never said that, right? Because that would actually just saying, oh, then we shouldn't launch it. But why? It's on law. It actually has a reference, all these kind of things, right? But I'm just saying, but that's my own opinion. That doesn't mean that I'm right. That's just my opinion, right? My problem is that sometimes because you're a CEO, you need to just be aware about, how are you affecting basically people's decision, and don't make them doubt themselves, right? Because I've hired them for a reason, because they're smarter and they actually have more experience than me. And I need to trust them, right? And that's what I'm doing, saying that if you can basically just give me the arguments why I should go this route, I can give you my opinion, but that doesn't mean that we're going this direction. But now you have my opinion. Be aware about this, this, and this, and this. I'm not saying that we should definitely do this unless I know that I'm 100% right, or something that they maybe haven't thought about. But then I'm also explaining why I think we should go in this direction. But I'm always challenged by the team, and I think that's another kind of like sign from us, kind of like we have a very healthy kind of like flat leader structure in that sense, that yes, they know absolutely who's the boss in that sense, because at the end, you're sitting in a triangle when you're looking at kind of like an organization. And the reason why I'm sitting at the top, because they can point at me saying it's your fault. Like, because there's only one that has the ultimate responsibility. And sometimes you need to take some annoying decisions, and I'm not afraid to do them and take these decisions. But I need a team of people who can dress me for the occasion, saying that when I take this decision, it might be wrong, it might be right, fine. But I'm not afraid to take the decision. But I need basically my team to dress me for that occasion, saying, why are we doing this? This is the reason why. And this is my expert opinion and all that. And I can see with the team we've hired for this one, they're just growing, right? Even juniors actually can come and express their opinions and all of these kind of things. And that's what we want to build even more on, right? Because we need to, everybody has a voice in that sense.
So Morten, you said with the lore master, you're when the BBC told them no, and you were like, no, do you know you're right? Do you know we're gonna go? No, come here. I'm gonna show you how you yell at them.
Exactly. That's why I say always use me as the bad cop. If you need somebody to come in, just drag me in. Just send me the invite link. I will come in. I'll be the bad cop, and then go out again.
So Morten,
sorry, Dave.
That's okay. We're basically out of time for anyone who's going to be on our audio version. Why don't you tell everybody where they can sign up to play the game and to buy these packs?
Yes, so basically you go into Doctor Who World Apart, and I think we were going to drop it here in the chat, right? So people can also see it. Go in, sign up. It's very easy. We've made it super, super frictionless for people to sign up. And basically you can go in and buy the packs. You can buy with a normal credit card, PayPal, crypto, whatever you want to. And if you log in and out every day, you can earn Pandax, which is, if you know your lore with Doctor Who, then you would know what that is. Basically, use the Pandax when you log in and out. Use it also to invite friends, stuff like that. And then the Pandax you can actually use to claim against and get free packs at the end. So it's really a win-win. So definitely come back every single day and remember to log in, and you can just earn some free stuff.
Awesome. So Christian already picked up a few with his Pandex. Which is great.
Exactly.
So but thank you so much for coming on, talking to us. Are you gonna stick around, join us over and play some games, or at least talk to us while we play some games?
Yeah, I'm gonna basically spend half an hour, because my alarm clock is basically just ringing in 2.5 hours. I need to be at a big event where in basically in Aarhus tomorrow in Denmark.
Fair enough. So
if you need to go to sleep, you need to go to sleep. Don't worry, we got this. Trust us, we got this.
I got, this is what I do, right? I work 7 days a week, 365, right? That I live and breathe for this one, right? So I'm happy to spend some time with you guys after.
Awesome.
Morten, just a quick question. Are you going to be expoing it at any game expos this year at all?
Yes. Yeah, we have been looking into what kind of expos should we actually attend. I think my biggest problem is that we need to find the right expos where the right audience is. I think a lot of them where we spend time is these blockchain events and all that. I think a lot of these events are super pricey. I think they're overpriced. They're charging a fortune. I don't think it's worth it in that sense. I would rather spend the money on community, on doing stuff like that. But we are trying to find out how can we do massive launch, how can we invite people in, and I still have my own personal kind of like mission that I want Karen Gillan in. So kind of like she's my own kind of like, I have her. I think I bought all the cards with her in it. So
she's your companion.
She's my companion, definitely. Oh, she doesn't know yet, but she will.
Nice. But yeah, so if for those of us who are here in our private chat, I did throw the other studio link in. For everyone else, thank you guys for joining us on this very special edition of The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Please like this video, like us, share, follow us on all of the social medias, like Christian says.
Exactly.
And then down at the bottom there, you can see we're going to be moving over to Twitch for our after party. And we do have our it'll be on my Twitch and the Traveling TARDIS Twitch. So twitch.tv/Traveling TARDIS and twitch.tv/TheRatHole DOTCA. So we'll be heading over there and going live. They don't have like a landing page for videos the same way that like YouTube does. But we'll probably go live over there in about 5 minutes, give everybody a chance to grab a new coffee or whatever.
You can do this. I believe in you.
Yes, exactly. We got this. So great. Thank you guys
remember
again.
to subscribe to this channel. It's the most amazing channel, and I can only say it, and I keep saying it. This is the place where you want to be if you're not part of Doctor Who and not part of this one. You don't deserve it. Like you need to be here. Like you need to be here. This is the best streaming and the best basically. What's it called? Can't remember.
I don't know, but more you're bringing that Viking energy in hot now.
No, I appreciate you guys so much. You've always been here. I love your shows. Again, I love the whole the energy in this one. Right, I've loved it from day one. So again, I can only say if you haven't hit the subscription, I'm gonna be after you. I'm gonna chase everybody I can see in the chat. And if you haven't subscribed, I'm gonna be on your case.
Especially if you work for them.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I'm gonna check everybody, but tomorrow, are you linked together with the Traveling TARDIS? If you're not, then
Oh boy.
He's smacking out.
Watch out.
And on that note,
you're going to get that slip, you're getting that warning slip.
Speaking of CEOs breaking down the law, Christian is saying that you need to run the commercial one more time.
I was already going to do that. So I'm going to run the commercial, and then Tony will play us out, and we will see you guys over in Twitch land in just a few short moments. Bye-bye.